Hi, my name is Norma. I live in Dallas, and I'm a real estate agent, and I like Progress Texas because y'all keep us up with what's going on at the national level, at the state level, at the local level, and that is very important. Part of the reason why we as a country are where we are is because people don't know what's going on in our cities and states, and you keep us up to date. Thank you so much.
It's Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Time to vote, y'all. Early voting starts today in the May 3rd election across Texas, in most parts anyway. What's on your ballot is going to vary widely from county to county, and most county websites will have a sample ballot you should download today and spend a little time with before you head out so you know what you're getting into. Lots more at our voter information resource at govotetexas.org. Early voting continues through next Tuesday, April 29th, and Election Day is 1 week from this Saturday on May the 3rd. At Progress Texas, we consider voting in every election, every time, having sought out the most information you can beforehand, not only to be the key to maximum civic engagement, but my personal opinion here, voting is also a lot of fun. And you get a sticker. What's cooler than that? But our GOP friends at the Capitol are doing all they can to make it difficult and in some cases downright dangerous. Two bills at the ledge right now resembling the recent SAVE Act, courtesy of Republican Congressman Chip Roy, which is being considered now in the U.S. Senate. In Austin, Senate Bill 16 and House Bill 5337 are set to be heard this week, purporting to target voting by non-citizens, something that already almost never happens, but as you might suspect, they also create pitfalls for people who are entitled to vote in Texas. These bills would require voter registration applicants to provide proof of U.S. citizenship, such as a passport, birth certificate, or citizenship papers. Problems arise there, once again, for married women or others who have changed their last name during their lives. I'm one of those people myself, having been adopted as a kid. They also create a new two-tiered voting system. Those who provide citizenship can vote in all races, while others are limited to U.S. congressional races only, yes, excluding the presidential race. These steep documentation requirements would particularly burden low-income citizens, folks with disabilities, women, new citizens, and people of color in a state already known for its strict voter ID laws. And let's not leave out the scary part, which is really the point here. A state jail felony for knowingly registering without citizenship status is added. It comes with up to 2 years in prison, even for innocent mistakes. About 1.3 million, or 7% of Texans, would find complying with these new requirements a financial struggle and a discouraging time burden as well. With birth certificates costing $22 and Texas's minimum wage at $7.25, it's easy to see how all of this would further discourage voter participation. Billionaires are having a heyday lately, from an apparent win on private school vouchers to other legislation that'll be voted on this week that would ban any taxes on transactions that happen within that new state stock market you might have heard about, the Texas Securities Exchange, which is, as we speak, progressing towards its anticipated launch in early 2026. It's designed to provide a fully electronic national securities exchange housed here in Texas, offering a venue for trading public companies and exchanging traded products. And the Texas Senate this week is looking to arrange for those high-dollar exchanges done by mostly big-dollar players to be tax-free. That's great news, if somewhat unsurprising, for Texas billionaire Kelsey Warren, who Ben Swanger at D Magazine writes is the majority owner of TXSE Group Incorporated, the parent company of this new exchange, with his hands on 32.7% of non-diluted shares. Warren, of course, is known for his significant influence in the fossil fuel industry, including environmentally controversial projects like the Dakota Access Pipeline, political contributions including 6- and 7-figure checks to the likes of Governor Greg Abbott, and for undertaking legal actions seen as attempts to crush dissent against his activities, including lawsuits against Beto O'Rourke, who had the gall to criticize Warren's windfall during the Winter Storm Uri energy disaster in Texas in 2021, and against Greenpeace, which resulted in a $660 million judgment in Warren's favor. That lawsuit remains on appeal by Greenpeace today. It's not every day that we pull a story from the notoriously right-wing rag The Washington Examiner, but writer Ramsey Touchberry at that particular rag has an interesting piece out as of yesterday. He says the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton appears to have violated Texas ethics laws by using public resources in his campaign launch ad for his primary run at Senator John Cornyn. Seems Paxton's first TV spot features uniformed police officers from Collin County, which the Texas Ethics Commission tells the Examiner would typically be against its code, barring the use of government resources for political advertising. Of course, at this stage of the game, is the Texas Ethics Commission likely to actually press Ken Paxton on this? My guess would be hell no. That is, unless Senator John Cornyn can exert some pressure here, settle in for a long and ugly fight between these two guys. One thing about Republican lawmakers we've learned this session, especially as it concerns public schools, is they really don't care that much what their voters think, but most of them keep that part quiet. Republican Rep. Wes Verdell of Brady appears to have missed that memo, though. Faith Bugenhagen at the Houston Chronicle writes that Verdell was just a bit too slow in deleting a tweet that he wrote on Easter Sunday criticizing his constituents for complaining about his votes at the Capitol on public school-related legislation last week, in part saying, quote, "Lesson learned for sure. I think a lot of elected folks are learning exactly why we should never vote for additional funding again. Thank you for helping us see that," unquote. Just so happens that the rural and small-town public schools in places like Kerrville, Hondo, Kingsland, Fort Stockton, and Bandera, all of whom Wes Verdell represents in Austin, are the places we expect to have a particularly tough time over the next couple of years with insufficient funding and the negative effects of private school vouchers. We hope our listeners in those towns and counties are paying attention, keeping Wes Verdell's votes and comments about his constituents in mind, and talking about all this with their friends and neighbors as they watch their local school kids struggle to get by. We want to express our horror and deep concern for Denton County Commissioner Bobby Mitchell this morning. Her husband, Fred, did not survive a stabbing attack on the couple allegedly committed by one of their grandsons on Monday morning. Commissioner Mitchell was badly injured as well. She's now hospitalized in stable condition. Our best wishes for her full recovery and our condolences to their entire family, who are just beginning to endure an unthinkable trauma. All of us at Progress Texas wish for the Mitchell family peace, healing, and justice. San Antonio and Austin friends, Progress Texas is proud to welcome San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg as our guest for a live podcast taping at our Party for Progress on Tuesday, May the 6th. That's 2 weeks from today. Coming up soon, we look forward to a long overdue visit to Alamo City. Again, mark that date, Tuesday, May 6th, live pod taping with Mayor Ron Nirenberg and good fun with you in San Antonio. See the show notes this morning and get your tickets right now. Thanks to Austin Kaplan and the Kaplan Law Firm, Nicolette Ardiente, Shannon Hernseer, Will Judy, Tracy Miller, Jeremy Nelson, Julianne Reeves, Holly Taylor, and more for their generous support of our San Antonio Party for Progress. We hope to see all of you there. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Those aforementioned oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light that we shine on important political news in Texas on a regular, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form the backbone of our funding here, and if that's you, we could use your help. No amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate and sign up as a monthly contributor like Leslie O'Laughlin, Jacqueline Stewart, and Linda Melanson all have. We appreciate all of you very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Links to all of these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. Don't forget to vote. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.